Is that your phone?
Will you put it in the back?
Do what?
Put it in the back. Vayafe hayom Shabbat Shalom. Vayafe hayom Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Boikala, 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 Boikala. Boikala, 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 Boikala. Lichadadi, Likrat Kala, Pini Shabbat, Nikabela.
Good evening, Shabbat Shalom, and welcome to our services. I don't think we could have said this like 10 years ago, where it's just a bunch of strange faces we see. But it's so wonderful when you show up and you come down those stairs and we say, welcome back, even though it's a week that you're here. But it's so good to see so many people that we get to know over these years now. And it doesn't matter how big you are, because it still becomes that one family. And we're celebrating a very special birthday, 39 years, just like Jack Benny said. So if you want to come up as a little group, it doesn't matter. You don't want to light candles. Okay.
You can bring your whole crew up. It doesn't
bring
have to
everybody
be
up
just
to
you.
light candles. It's fine.
You just stand there. You don't have to say anything. I'll do the singing.
Thank you. We need a new box.
That box has seen some things. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech ha'olam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat.
And happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
May the Shabbat candles that we now light inspire us to see justly and gently, look honestly with kindness, and to see what's holy in each other. Bottom of page 4 as we continue. Hine ma tov, how good and pleasant it is for all of us to be together.
All of us. Truly, it's so wonderful to have so many of you here. Like Rabbi was saying, I don't think 10 years ago, at the beginning of March, we ever would have had a crowd like this.
No.
And we're so happy that you're all here. So please take just a moment to introduce yourself or to say Shabbat Shalom to someone who's sitting nearby. Hine ma tov u'manayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov u'manayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov shevet achim gam yachad. Hine שבת אחים גם יחד, הנה מה טוב ומה נעים. שבת אחים גם יחד, הנה מה טוב ומה נעים. שבת אחים גם יחד, הנה מה טוב ומה נעים. שבת אחים גם יחד, הנה מה טוב ומה נעים. שבת אחים גם יחד, הנה מה טוב, הנה מה טוב. יאללה לה, יאללה לה 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 לה. הנה מה טוב, הנה מה טוב. יאללה לה, יאללה לה 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 לה. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים. שבת אחים גם יחד, הנה מה טוב ומה נעים. שבת אחים גם יחד.
We'll turn to page 8 at the bottom of the page, and we'll continue responsively with our family prayer. May we never take for granted the gift of Shabbat as we sit nestled in the Rocky Mountains, sharing this humble moment with family and friends. May the satisfaction of celebrating Shabbat hearten our spirits, and let Shabbat peace bring quiet to our souls. Allow this time set aside for song and prayer to bring us closer together in thoughts and deeds. This space we share become our place of devotion, glowing with reverence and filled with our traditions. May the end of this week encourage us to examine our actions, and let us look ahead toward the new week, so we're worthy of all of God's blessings. Top of page 8 as we welcome the angels of peace and join together. Shalom Aleichem.
I'm so excited. This summer we are having a very special Sephardic and Mizrahi Shabbat that we're going to be having. So much of what we do in the United States is so centered around Ashkenazi Judaism, which is what most of us know and practice. And I'm excited that we'll have an opportunity to bring in a really cool musician and a really amazing author and chef to do a great program this summer. And so in honor of that, we're going to do a Sephardic Shalom Aleichem
And it all
tonight.
started with some woman in Denver said, I am the Balabusta Sephardic cook. And then I thought, what could we do with that except a very special Shalom Aleichem?
Shalom Aleichem, Malachi Asharet, Malachi Elyon, Mimelech Malchei HaMalachim, Kadosh Baruch Hu. Shalom Aleichem, Malachi Asharet, Malachi Elyon, Mimelech Malchei HaMalachim, Kadosh Baruch Hu. Ay, ay, ay. Shalom Aleichem, Malachi Asharet, Malachi Elyon, Mimelech Malchei HaMalachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boachem Shalom, Malachi Shalom, Malachi Elyon, Mimelech Malchei HaMalachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boachem Shalom, Malachi Shalom, Malachi Elyon, Mimelech Malchei HaMalachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Ay, ay, ay. Boachem Shalom, Malachi Shalom, Malachi Elyon, Mimelech Malchei HaMalachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Baruch Hu Nila Shalom, Malachi Shalom, Malachi Elyon, Mimelech Malchei HaMalachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Baruch Hu Nila Shalom, Malachi Shalom, Malachi Elyon, Mimelech Malchei HaMalachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Ay, ay. Baruch Hu Nila Shalom, Malachi Shalom, Malachi Elyon, Mimelech Malchei HaMalachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Tzedechem Shalom, Malachi Shalom, Malachi Elyon, Mimelech Malchei HaMalachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Tzedechem Shalom, Malachi Shalom, Malachi Elyon, Mimelech Malchei HaMalachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Ay, ay, ay. Tzedechem Shalom, Malachi Shalom, Malachi Elyon, Mimelech Malchei HaMalachim, HaKadosh Kadosh Baruch Hu.
Now we should serve some Sephardic food or something after this. It was funny because this morning I was meeting with a young bride-to-be.
Can someone open the door?
Oh, someone's locked out?
Yes. Thank you, Maya.
Oh. And her mother, and she said, you know, I know we're planning this wedding, but I really hope your cantor isn't like an opera singer. And I said, obviously you've never been here, so we're just fine. We're just fine.
Well, it's whatever you want. You know, High
Right.
Holidays is a different story. But
All right. Well, we'll turn to page 12. As we lift our eyes to the mountains, arriving in Jerusalem, the pilgrim said, from where does my help come? Top of page 12 as we join together.
Shamayim va'aretz Ezri me'im Adonai Oseh Shamayim va'aretz Esainai el Harim me'ayin yavo Ezri Esainai el Harim me'ayin yavo Ezri Ezri me'im Adonai Oseh Shamayim va'aretz Ezri me'im Adonai Oseh Shamayim va'aretz.
As we turn to page 16 in our prayer books, travel back to the 16th century to the town of Sfat, the center of Jewish mysticism, where they wrote the beautiful prayer and sung Lecha Dodi as we welcome the Sabbath bride.
Lecha lecha dodi likrat kala B'nei Shabbat nekabela Lecha lecha dodi likrat kala B'nei Shabbat nekabela La 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 lecha dodi likrat kala B'nei Shabbat nekabela Lecha lecha dodi likrat kala P'nei Shabbat nekabela Shamor v'zachor b'dibor echad Hishmi'anu el ha'meyuchad Adonai echad u'shmo echad L'shem motif beretz v'litchila la 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 lecha dodi likrat kala P'nei Shabbat nekabela Lecha lecha dodi likrat kala P'nei Shabbat nekabela Likrat Shabbat lechu v'nilcha Ki hi mekor ha'miracha Mirosh mikedem nesucha Sof ma'aseh b'machsheva tchila La 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 lecha dodi likrat kala P'nei Shabbat nekabela Lecha lecha dodi likrat kala P'nei Shabbat nekabela Mikdash melech ir melucha Kumitzi mitahafecha Rav lach shevet be'emek avacha Vehu yachmol alaychem La 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 lecha dodi likrat kala P'nei Shabbat nekabela Lecha lecha dodi likrat kala P'nei Shabbat nekabela.
On page 18, we rise, face the rear of the sanctuary as we greet the Sabbath bride.
Boi v'shalom ateret bala Gam b'simcha u'b'tzahala Toch emunei am segula Boi chala La 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 lecha dodi likrat kala P'nei Shabbat nekabela Lecha dodi likrat kala P'nei Shabbat nekabela La 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 lecha dodi dodi likrat kala b'nei Shabbat nikavela lecha dodi likrat kala b'nei Shabbat nikavela.
May be seated. It's an interesting argument that was on Facebook amongst the rabbis, and I don't argue, I just laugh at what they're arguing over, because they said they can't play guitar on Shabbat, and it just doesn't sound right. Why would we play guitar? And I said, hello, let's look at Psalm 92, to the instrument of the lute and the harp, the melody of the lyre, and then they named 9 other instruments that you're allowed to play. I said, case closed. I mean, that's why we do it. So we'll continue the bottom of page 20 as we continue Tzadik Katamar.
Tzadik Katamar Yifrach Ke'eres Balvanon Yizgeh Shetulim Bevet Adonai Bechatzrot Eloheinu Yafrichu Od Yenun Beseva Deshenim Vera'ananim Yehiu Lehakir Ki Ashar Adonai Tsuri Velo Avlatabo.
When the Boston Globe in 1921, when there was Dr. Crane Says, kind of like our dear Abby, and he was always putting in these beautiful pieces of 10 daily suggestions, as we have on page 23, just for today. And the rabbis seem to write prayers for almost everything, except I doubt if there's a prayer for closing on a house. But this could be it, so we'll have Andy and Lynn, page 23, if you'd lead us responsively, for closing on your house.
Just for today, I will live one day only, forgetting yesterday and tomorrow, and not trying to solve the whole problem of life at once.
Just for today, I'll be unafraid of life and death, unafraid to enjoy the beautiful and be happy. People are as happy as they make up their minds to be.
Just for today, I will adjust myself to what is, and not try to adjust everything to suit me. If I cannot have what I like, I will try to like what I have.
Just for today, I'll be agreeable, cheerful, charitable, do my best to praise people for what they can do, not criticize them for what they cannot do. And if I find fault, I'll forgive it and forget it. I'll try not to improve nor regulate anybody except myself.
Just for today, I will have a plan. I may not follow it exactly, but I will have one. It will save me from worry, hurry, and indecision.
Just for today, I'll get people off my nerves and not get on theirs. I'll appreciate them for what they do and what they are.
Just for today, I will not show it if my feelings are hurt.
Just for today, I'll find a little time for quiet, to relax, and realize what life is and can be. Time to think about God and get a better perspective of myself.
Just for today, I will look at life with fresh eyes and discover the wonder of it. I will know that as I give to the world, so the world will give to me.
And that gave you all the patience in the world to get the house sold, right? So it works. Page 24, as we rise for our call to worship and join together in the Baruch Hu.
Am I awake? Am I prepared? Are you listening to my prayer? Can you hear my voice? Can you understand I awake? Am I prepared? Yada-da-da-da, 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 yada-da-da-da. Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Le'olam va'ed. Le'olam va'ed. Yada-da-da-da, 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 yada-da-da-da.
May be seated. Certainly, whenever we are here in this beautiful valley, we would never want to take for granted all of that God has created. Bottom of page 28 will continue responsively. As we join together on this Shabbat Eve, we take in the greatness of God's creations. And as the snow melts from the mountain peaks on high, let our worries of the week flow away. And as the mountain springs give forth fresh water, let our souls feel refreshed. As creeks join streams and become the great rivers, let our faith and love grow stronger. And as we stand in awe of the great beauty of the Rocky Mountains, let our faith in God increase and renew. Let Shabbat be a time of peace. The top of page 28.
Ahavat olam Beit Yisrael Amcha avta Torah u'mitzvot Chukim u'mishpatim Otanu lemadeta Al kein Adonai Eloheinu b'shochbenu Uvkumenu nasiach bechukecha V'nismach b'divrei Toratecha U'mitzvotecha le'olam ba'ed Ki ehem chayenu Ve'orech yameinu Uvahem negei yomam v'layla Negei yomam v'layla Ve'ahavatcha al tasir Mimenu le'olamim Baruch atah Adonai Ohev Amo Yisrael Ohev Amo Yisrael.
We join together at the top of page 30.
And Margot is going to lead us
How
in the
nice.
Shema.
All alone, you're fine. Come right to the center so everyone around the country can see you.
No pressure.
No pressure. Here we go. Page 30.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad Baruch Shem Kavod Mahuto Le'olam Va'ed.
That was great. Thank you. Thank you.
Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol me'odecha ve'hayu hadvarim ha'eleh Asher Anochi Mitzavecha Hayom Al Levavecha B'shinatam Levanecha V'dibarta bam B'shivtecha B'beitecha U'v'lechtecha V'aderech U'v'shachbecha U'v'kumecha U'kshartam le'od Al yadecha V'hayu letotafot Bein einecha Uchtavtam al mezuzot beitecha uvisharecha leman tizkuru vasitem et kol mitzvotai vitem kedoshim leloechem ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim liot lachem lelohim ani Adonai Elohechem.
On this Shabbat evening, as we seek peace and comfort, we ask that you shield us from hatred and destruction that plagues so many corners of the world and console those in need. Shomer Yisrael, guardian of Israel, we call out to you with prayer to protect the men, women, and children who were brutally kidnapped by Hamas and held captive in Gaza, along with the members of the Israel Defense Forces missing in action or held captive. May it be your will speedily and soon to bring them out from darkness and the shadow of death. Give continued strength to the IDF to do all that must be done to deliver them from danger and back to the loving embrace of their dear ones. So may the verses of the book of Isaiah be true. Those delivered by God will be returned, and they will enter Zion with everlasting joy. The top of page 34, Hashkivenu.
Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom V'hamidenu makenu lechaim. Spread the shelter of your peace over us. Guide us in wisdom, compassion, and trust. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom V'hamidenu makenu lechaim. Save us for the sake of your name. Shield us from hatred, sorrow, and pain. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom V'hamidenu makenu lechaim. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom V'hamidenu makenu lechaim.
As we sing from the book of Exodus, in 6 days the Lord created the heavens and the earth. The seventh day he ceased from his work and rested. Page 36 as we join together, Vishamru.
Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat l'dorotam berit olam. Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat l'dorotam berit olam. Beini ubein b'nei Yisrael oti leolam, oti leolam. Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני, עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם.
The Birkat HaGomel prayer expresses our gratitude for the miracle of healing and full restoration to one's health, to family and friends, and restoration to life itself. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, gomel lecha yavim tovot, sheg gimolani kol tov. May he who found and bestowed kindness upon us, bestow kindness and goodness upon all of us, and restore us to health. Were those in our community in need of healing of body, mind, or spirit? If you have a loved one or a person in your life in need of healing, please feel free in just a moment to share their name aloud as we move about the sanctuary. Page 38, the top of the page, Misha Berach.
Misha Berach Avotenu Mekor HaBracha Leimotenu. May the source of strength, who blessed the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen.
We offer these blessings for full healing to Gail Balin, Sue Beiser, Dennis Deutsch, Gordon and Margaret Fitzahem, Carol Ann Finn, Jane Friedman, Deborah Goldman, Mark Groblowski, Lori Hellman, Mike Herman, and Raea Ivri, Donald Jaffe, Harriet Jaffe, Mary Sue Katz, Cheryl Kessler, Herman Keek, Ronan Kajawa, Renee Myers, Stephen Reese, Roberta Scheller, Sam Schwartz, Johnny Siegel, Bill Silvers, B. Sklarowitz, Dina Stempler, Maury Strauss, Marcy Tracy, Goldie Wetcher, Mickey Winokur, and Dave Wolf. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Misha Berach Imotenu Mekor HaBracha Leavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen.
We'll turn to page 40 and rise and continue with the Reader's Kaddish.
Yitkada ve'yitkada shemei Rabbah.
Amen.
Be'alma divra kirutei ve'amlich malchutei.
B'chayechon of Yomechon, u'v'chayei dechol Beit Yisrael, Bagala, bagala, uvisman kari.
Veimeru.
Amen. Yehesh me rabba mevarach. Le'alam u'lameo maya. Yitbarach.
Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpar v'yitroma v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitalel v'yitalal shemei dekudsha le'elam min kol birchata v'shirata
Tushbechata v'nechemata damiran b'yama.
v'yimeru.
Amen. Eternal God, open my lips that my mouth may declare your glory. Page 42 as we continue at the top of the page and silently through page 57.
Anananananana Adonai. Ananananana Svatai Tiftach. Ananananana Ufi Agid. Ufi Agid Tehilatecha. Ananananana Adonai. Ananananana Svatai Tiftach. Ananananana Ufi Agid. Ufi Agid Tehilatecha. Ananananana Adonai. Ananananana Svatai Tiftach. Ananananana Ufi Agid. Ufi Agid Tehilatecha. Ananananana Adonai. Adonai Svatai Tiftach. Ananananana Ufi Agid. Ufi Agid Tehilatecha.
May be seated when you've completed the Amida. As we continue with our prayer for peace, the bottom of page 56, Oseh Shalom.
Spirit of the world, make us whole again. Grant us peace. Grant us your peace. Spirit of the world, hear our humble prayer. Grant us peace. grant us your peace. Oh, say shalom imromav, huya, say shalom, huya, say shalom. Oh, say shalom imromav, huya, say shalom, huya, say shalom. Aleinu, Aleinu, Vail kol Yisrael. Aleinu, Aleinu, Vail kol Yoshvei Tevel. Oh, say shalom imromav, huya, say shalom, huya, say shalom. Oh, say shalom imromav, huya, say shalom, huya, say shalom. Ve'imeru, ve'imeru, ve'imeru. Amen.
One of your new tracks.
It is. That's one that me and
You have
Colleen
to
just
join us.
wrote.
It wasn't enough just to do those 2 mountaintop services that we'll do in July and August, but we said, let's do one that's not on Shabbat. It'll be on a Wednesday morning,
A
August.
Wednesday morning in August.
And we're invited up just for unbelievable music and incredible guests that the Cantor's inviting to join with us.
Having a big album release concert with all kinds of very well-known contemporary Jewish musicians joining us. It will be very exciting. August 14th.
Neil Diamond and who else?
Yeah, all
Right,
of those
right,
contemporary
right. That's
Jewish
what I
musicians.
thought. Okay. I think when we listen to the news as a Jewish community, we hear it with different ears than other people who are not part of the Jewish faith. And we had that incident months ago where a rocket was fired into Gaza and it landed near the hospital. Immediately everybody blamed Israel and said the rocket was fired by Israel and they had to condemn them. Then last week we saw the aid trucks coming in, and you see the view from above of people just raiding these aid trucks that were coming in, and again, everybody has to blame us. So I thought what to talk about this week was about the ethics of Jews and what we do within a contemporary world. And it really starts with the Jewish immigrants that came to this country at the turn of the century. And for those who chose also to make their home in Israel, because we brought our grandparents, great-grandparents brought with them a set of Jewish morals, ethics, and values. Now, even those who came through Ellis Island didn't speak a word of English. Those who went and settled in Palestine and didn't speak any Hebrew. They brought with them social institutions dating back to the Mishnaic times and also to medieval times. So in the Lower East Side of New York in the early 1900s, organizations with Hebrew names, Yiddish names, well, they founded societies that protected the poor. They said, we're going to form something for free burial, homes for the aged and charities to clothe the naked, organizations to provide for women who needed support in order to be married, and of course, societies just to provide matzah and wine at Passover time. All of this was accepted not as a choice, but it was a duty and a responsibility for the entire society. So Jewish ethics then and now were based on, I really think, 2 brief sentences. It's found in Pirkei Avot, the Talmud, and most of us have heard these before from Rabbi Hillel. He said, Im ein ani li mili, if I'm not for myself, who will be for me? But the sentence never stands alone. It doesn't stand by itself, and it always must be coupled with, Ulsha'ani la'atzmi ma'ani, if I'm only for myself, then what am I? Ve'im lo achshav motai, if not now, when? So why am I bringing all this up about ethics and what's in the news? And the question that was discussed after World War II was how do you fight a war when one side doesn't follow the rules? Now, much has been discussed in the news, as I mentioned, as to how the Israeli military has acted since October 7th. We had an interesting discussion. I have this little Wednesday morning group called Tachlis, where we get down to brass tacks. It's in my Zoom group, and we talked about the ethics of war, or it's also known as jus ad bellum, the just war theory. Now, when I was a chaplain at the Naval Academy, I was privileged to be a military instructor of ethics, and one class was always devoted to the teachings of St. Thomas Aquinas, one of the earliest philosophers, and he wrote on what makes a just war. And his criteria was intended to protect civilians and guarantee that wars were not just fought for the interest of private parties. So for a moment, what I'd like you to do is I list the 6 criteria for a just war. Think about what's going on in Gaza and see if it fits within this internationally accepted criteria. Because Thomas Aquinas, now we have to go back to the 13th century, but he asked that we each look at the 6 criteria individually. You have to match all 6 and say they work, and then judge the ethical validity of the principles of war. And again, let's try to remember, how does this apply to what's going on right now in Gaza with Hamas? So the first that he talked about was it has to be a just cause. A war needs to be a response to a wrong which is suffered. And the greatest example for this is self-defense against an attack that constitutes a just war. The second thing he talked about is it has to be of a last resort. A just war can only be waged after all peaceful options are considered, and the use of force can only be used then as, number 2, a last resort. Third has to be a legitimate authority. A just war is waged by a legitimate authority. It can't be waged by a bunch of rebels that are individuals or groups that want revenge. That doesn't constitute a legitimate government. His fourth was to have the right intention, that the primary objective of a just war is to reestablish peace. 5 was, is there a probability for success? Success, in order for a war to be just, there must be the rational possibility that maybe you just might win. A nation can't enter a war with a hopeless cause. The last one is proportionality. Foreseen but unintended harms must be proportionate to the military advantage achieved. This is from the 13th century, and when we were teaching this to the midshipmen at the Naval Academy, we had to apply it to Iraq and Afghanistan and even Vietnam. But this one, when we think about Gaza, and we talked about it on Wednesday, we were asking the question, so how does Israel fight a war when the enemy's only rule is to destroy Israel at all costs? And I think by looking back at the morals and the ethics that the Jewish people have lived by for thousands of years, and they may not have known Thomas Aquinas, they don't know who he is, but it works. The phraseology, though, for me, of a just war always seemed to have a contradiction for a peaceful nation. But then we always remember the words, Im ena nili mili, if I'm not for myself, who is it that's going to be for me? Uchsha'ani la'atzmi ma'ani, if I'm only for myself, then what am I? But most of all, they said, V'im lo achshavi matai, if not now, when will we do this? You're all welcome to join me on Zoom any Wednesday where we have non-political, we don't yell about any of the presidents or any of that other stuff. We get into, I think, some of these where it's just difficult discussions. And we have quite a lot coming up. If you haven't taken one of these to see what's coming up this summer, just to highlight a few things. We do have March 14th. The book Chavarah talks about the cost of free land, the free land, Jews, Lakota, and the American inheritance. Amazing story about a family that inherited land, and it also belonged to the Native Americans and how they dealt with, what are we doing with this? Should we still be living here? We have Boots and Bluegrass Shabbat. Last year I just said, we've never done that. So I said to the cantor, can you do bluegrass? And you can't, well.
And I said, I'll figure it out.
right.
And I did.
And who's our guest that's coming?
And Colleen is going to be joining us
I
for
know.
Bluegrass Shabbat. I'm so excited.
It's pretty amazing service. It's wild up here. And then we invite some of you. Unfortunately, we only have room for 100 downstairs for an amazing barbecue dinner that we have after the service. Of course, we have the 2 mountaintop services, first weekend in July, first weekend of August. And again, Colleen is going to be at both.
She's coming to August.
In August. And some other speakers from Dallas. We have Tracy Walder coming. I learned about her from Sheriff Israel. And she was a spy with the CIA. So you have to see her and hear her story. She speaks a lot on TED Talks, but it's just incredible. She's recruited out of USC. It's this beautiful young blonde woman, Jewish, and she's doing all these secret ops and hiding in the trunks of cars and all kinds of stuff. It's a great story, and she's coming here to talk to us. And of course, we have Yafa Turgeman, who's going to be doing a Sephardic workshop to teach us how to cook Sephardic food. Then we're going to do the Sephardic service. Where's your guest coming from?
Yoni lives in Boston right now.
So we have a special service that night, and then afterwards we go down for a Sephardic dinner of sorts, which I haven't seen the menu, but I'm sure it'll be brilliant. And
several
so much more.
hundred other events
Yes.
that are not yet listed.
Right. And this is the first time we're expanding and going to, just found out today, to Breckenridge, where we're going to, a couple activities that we'll be doing there, kind of expanding, because there's so much also that's happening there. Apart from Leadville cleanup and your great-grandpa's synagogue, we're going to do a service there in Leadville, which, again, the history is just incredible when you think about all that took place at the beginning of really Jews of this area. So take one of these home. If you're not on the mailing list for the newsletter, let us know. And we're...
Tons going on.
When you see our guard outside, which is important, he's a former Marine, and I said, good. That means he knows how to take care of all of us inside. And Piper is out there too. She's helped set up and clean up all this. And then when we're all done, anybody who wants to help us put this away before Catholic Mass tomorrow morning, we will do that as well. And a special guest for Aleinu.
Yes, Evie is going to be leading us in Aleinu.
So we're going to turn in our prayer books to page 60 as we all rise and join together. Here's your mic.
Aleinu l'shabbeach l'adon hakol, l'tekidu l'aleotzer breshit, shalo asanu kegoye haratzot, shalo samanu kamishbechot adama, shalo sam halkenu kahem, v'gor aleinu kol ha'amonam, v'anachnu korim, umishtachavim umodim, lifnei melech, Melchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Shehu Notei Shamayim V'Yoser Haaretz, U'Moshe Yikaro B'Shamayim Mima'al, U'Shli Natuzo, U'Shli Natuzo, V'Gavhei Meromi, Hu Eloheinu Einod, Emid Malkeinu Efes Zulatov, Kakatu B'Torato V'Datahayom V'Vota Elevavecha Ki Adonai Hu Elohim B'Shamayim Mima'al V'Yaharet Tachainu V'Ne'emar V'haya Adonai L'melech al kol haaretz Bayom hahu Yeh Adonai Echad U'Shemo Echad.
Thank you. At this moment in memory of our loved ones who are no longer with us, we join hands in love and remembrance. A link has been broken in the chain that bound us together. yet strong bonds of home and love hold us one to another. In solemn testimony to that unbroken faith which links the generations one to another, we call to mind those whose yahrzeit we observe this the month of March. Madeline Bland, Selma Bronstein, Sidney Burns, Carl Cohen, Sarah Jane Dresser, Sadie Dushman, Elaine Dworkin, Rhea Iyer, Arthur Froman, Richard Fox, Max Friedman, Robert S. Fremont, Jack Futernick, Thelma Gerson, Herbert Given, Norman Goldberg, Edith Goldsmith, Howard Goldstein, Rosalind Goldman, Ida Haas, Phyllis Hayden, Sal Horowitz, Pauline Israel, Janice Kaplan, and Harold Krauss, Sidney Joseph Kern, Israel Leibowitz, Maxine Landau, Hinda Lapkoff, Marion Levy, Earl Levitt, Edward Leaf, Enrique Santos Mazel, Bernard Myers, Evelyn Ruth Miller, Rose Moore, Arthur Moss, Nathan Myers, Paul Pascal, Marjorie Green Patterson, Murray Plotnick, Mel Presser, Ethel Price Shapiro, Miriam Raymer, Edward Rosenthal, Carol Ross, Lisi Rothman, Ernie Schneider, Henrietta Schneider, Benedicta Schragen, Jay Schwab, Selwyn Schwartz, Jeanette Shapiro, Marvin Sheldon, Isidore Jack Silver, Scott Simons, Leon Singer, Alan Solomon, Arthur Wagner, Dorothy Wellens, David Wertheim, Dana Whitman, and Shirley Zaslowski. If anyone else is observing a yahrzeit this month. Thank you. The Mourner's Cottage can be found in our prayer books on page 64, and those who wish may join with us as we say, Yitzkadal v'yitzkadash shemei Rabbah, v'yalmad yivrach yirutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon v'yomechon v'chayei dechol Beit Yisrael, v'agalav izman kariv v'imramein, Yehi shmei Rabba mevarach le'olam u'me'omaya, Yitvarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh, Yitadar v'yitalev v'yitalal shemei dekudisha brichu, Le'elam min kol birchata v'shirata, tush bechata v'nechemata, da'miran bi'alma v'imramein. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imramein. Oseh shalom v'imramav, hu yaseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imramein. You may be seated. Robert and Michelle, it looks as beautiful as ever. Thank you for that beautiful cover. That was your friends, really, that did it for you for your 50th anniversary. It looks beautiful. Everybody who's here. It's great. And for those that are watching from the East Coast to the West Coast and all over, we welcome you. We always get about 100 people. It's nice to have you in person, though. I'm always saying, and the Groblowskis that are out there. No, they're right here. So that's kind of nice, too. And for those that have never been here before, welcome. We're glad to have you with us, and I know that we're here every Friday. I wouldn't say like a postman, rain, sleet, or snow, because if it's a bad storm, we stay home. But we're glad to have so many of you with us. And Adon Olam to the regular tune.
Which regular tune
I
should
don't
we
know,
do?
page 66.
Okay. Any thoughts?
Which one
for
do you like?
Adon Olam? Which the Adon Olam? Okay.
Oh,
all
that's
right.
nice.
Cool.
Page 66.
We actually have not done this in
No,
so long.
but it's regular.
Adon Olam, Asher Malach, B'terem Kol, Yitzir Nivra, Nasa, V'chefsa Kol, Azay Malach Shemo Nikra Adon Olam, Ve'acharei Kichot HaKol, Levado Yimloch Nora Adon Olam, Ve'hu Haya, Ve'hu Hoveh, Ve'hu Yeh V'tifara Adon Olam, Adon Olam, Asher Malach, B'terem Kol, Yitzir Nivra, Le'ed Nasa, V'chefsa Kol, Azay Malach Shemo Nikra Adon Olam, Ve'hu Echad, Ve'ein Sheni, L'ham Shilo Le'achvira Adon Olam, Bli Reshit, Bli Tachlit, Ve'lo Ha'ozeh HaMisra Adon Olam, Adon Olam, Asher Malach, B'terem Kol, Yitzir Nivra, Le'ed Nasa, V'chefsa Kol, Azay Melech shemo nikra Adon Olam. Vehu echad ve'ein sheni. Lehamshilo le'achvira Adon Olam. Bli reshit, bli tachlit. Lo oz ve'amitzra Adon Olam. Adon Olam. Asher malach. B'terem kol yitzir nivra le'nasa. B'chefsako azay melech shemo nikra Adon Olam. Vehu eli v'chai goali. V'tzorchev li v'etzara Adon Olam. Vehu nisi umanos li. Menat kosi b'yom ekra Adon Olam. Adon Olam.
Adon Olam.
Asher malach.
Asher malach.
B'terem kol yitzir nivra le'nasa.
V'chefsako azan melech shemo nikra Adon Olam.
Beyado akid ruchi.
Adon Olam. Imruchi gaviati. Adonai livelo ira Adon Olam.
Adon Olam. Asher malach. B'terem kol yitzir nivra le'nasa. B'chefsako azay melech shemo nikra Adon Olam.
We'll rise for a blessing. Adonai Ozli Amo Yatain, Adonai Varecha Tamo Shalom. May the Lord grant strength unto his people and bless all peoples with peace.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu
Thank you.
melech haolam. Borei pari hagafen l'chaim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Hamotzi lechem min haaretz b'tei
There's
avot.
challah and wine in the back for all.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, a little Dallas connection.